Okay, so good morning. Today I'm going to talk to you about this bike. Okay, so I was looking for a bike that could handle the Coromandel roads. Twisty, steep hills, tight corners, uneven surfaces, the odd metal road. So I did a bit of research and I started looking at the adventure bikes. I've not had a big adventure bike since my days in Lanzarote, which was probably 26 years ago, and I had a DR 800S. It was all tricked out. Since then it's just been big road bikes and cruisers, Harleys. Too big for here. I've kept my Road King at the moment, but the Harley Fat Boy I had was just no good. It was a beautiful bike and I loved it and all that, but it was just a waste of time trying to ride it safely around here. So I did a lot of research on the net. I watched a lot of promo videos, watched a lot of reviews from the big BMWs. I test drove the KTM 790 Adventure R. Me and my son took them out for a bit of a blast for a while. Anyway, I started watching about the Yamaha Tenere, the 700, and I bought this bike unseen, unridden. I liked it. It didn't have all the electronics, the traction control, the cornering traction control, the hill start assist, the swift shifter, whatever the fuck they call it, all of that stuff. I just wanted something that was basic. This does have ABS that you can switch off if you want to go off-road on it. I haven't been off-roading this bike yet. I've done 600 or 700 kilometres on it. Twisty roads in the dry and the sunshine. Handling is phenomenal. I really was surprised. It goes up hills like they're not there. You come out of corners and you get a bit of a handful and it just wheelies with ease. It loves it. The suspension is really, really good. I mean, it's a little bit hard when you first get on it. The way I have it set up for my weight, it sits very, very high. I'm just touching the tips of my toes. I've dialed that down a little bit, so I've got a little bit more on the ground. But once you get used to it, it does take a few Ks to get used to it. Once you get used to it, though, it just becomes part of you. It's a beautiful bike. The engine is so smooth. It got power from nothing all the way through the range. It's pulling, you know. You're not hitting any power bands. It's just power the whole way. The dash is really simple. It's just a big digital display that just shows you your kilometres and your fuel and a couple of warning lights if you need them. It's on these Pirelli all-terrain tyres, and I was a bit nervous of these in the wet. I thought, no, I don't really like Noblies in the wet, but I came back in the wet yesterday and it wasn't just wet, it was fucking pissing down and blowing its tits off. And along these twisty roads, once I got my confidence in the wet, yeah, it really, it was doing things that I wasn't expecting it to do. It was really good. I was really impressed with it. So I can't actually, at this stage, I can't fault this bike. I had some soft luggage bags bought for it. They're actually quite small, but I got everything I needed in there for my 2 days away, which was fine. I've added a few things to this bike. I've added some bark busters, only because the ones that were on it were plastic, and if it fell over, the first thing is going to break. So I put something a little bit more durable on there. I added some crash protection. Not that I intend to crash it, but if you fall over, all this stuff's expensive. You'd have to replace it, crack and be broken. The thing I spent the most on with this bike was the exhaust system. They offered a slip-on different silencer, which just basically made it a bit louder, and it was quite expensive just for this. So I said, no, I wanted the whole. I didn't want a catalytic converter, all the American exhaust laws. All these bikes are choked up; they can't breathe. There's no. So they put the Yamaha's own high-performance exhaust system on it, which has no catalytic converter, and it has this Aka Pro, whatever it's called, pipe with a little carbon fibre heat shield on it there. They had to remap the motor, the fuel injection, and they put a different air filter in there to allow more air into the engine because of the exhaust and the whole gas flow thing. It's pokey as. I might just start it up actually and hear the difference in this thing. I mean, they are quite quiet. You don't really hear them, but when you open it up, it sort of makes me semi-erect. But joking aside, I love this bike. I'm really looking forward to taking it on the metal roads. I got another pair of pants the other day that's got a bit of armour on the knees and the hips in case I get a bit carried away with myself. And this jacket, or my other jacket's got armour on the shoulders and the elbows, and bit of spine protection. And I'm obviously wearing gloves and helmet and proper boots. So unless I fucking hit something like a tree or a logging truck, if I go down the road, I should be able to get up and pick it up and carry on, like I've done many times before. So yeah, obviously I've not been silly on it. I haven't really been drifting it or honking too many wheelies. It's just been the odd one on as I come out of a corner. There's a bit of empty straight road ahead of me, and it just volunteers. It just stands up on its end and away it goes. So yeah, if you're thinking about an adventure bike, you don't want to spend. Actually, this bike here it was only the basic bike without the pipes and the extra bits I put on it was only 16,000 New Zealand dollars. Now, if you compare that to the KTM Adventure R, which I took out, it was like 24 grand. So, and it had a dashboard that was, I suppose you'd get to learn about it. You'd learn how the systems worked, but it was fiddly. And I need to stop, put my glasses on and read what this says and that says. And I'm not interested in that. I don't want to wait for 20 seconds or 30 seconds while a computer checks in and sets everything up, and then you've got to set it to what you're going to ride. And I just want to get on something, start it up and go. And that's exactly what this allows me to do. So, in the big BMWs, they're $33,000, double the money, a lot more weight. And, if I drop this, it falls over in the mud or on the sand or on a track or something, if I drop it, even at my age, I'm pretty sure I can pick it up again, But with a BMW or the big 1290 KTM or one of the big Triumphs, I'm going to be struggling because I'm not as strong and fit as I used to be. So this bike's sort of pretty much at the edge of what I can manage at my age, Other things I put on it, a radiator, a sort of stainless radiator guard, some protection underneath here from rocks and stuff. What else? Stop the stones chipping up my lights or smashing my lights. I put a plastic stone guard on. I am going to get a taller screen for this bike. The Yamaha don't make one, but there's another company, Rally Rage or something. They make one that's bigger, and also they have a wind deflector that goes on here as well, and they do it in like a smoky grey colour, so it look quite flashy. This is only four little bolts, and or Allen keys or whatever they are, power drives, that just pops off. So if I'm going a long run, 200 or 300 kilometers down to see the kids or whatever, I can just pop this off and put a big screen on, and so I'm sitting in a complete pocket of air. I'm not getting buffeted. Having said that as well, the wind protection was adequate. 100 k's, I'm getting no buffeting at all. And yesterday when it was raining really hard, when my visor got covered in rain, I just leaned forward like a few inches, and that airstream off the windscreen, as you want to call it that, just blasted my visor clear. So that was quite a bonus as well. So I've got some plastic covers coming for this. Replaces this and protects this. This is the water pump. I can see that being and this is like a light alloy. So if you fell over on a big rock and you broke this, which has happened from some of the videos that I've been watching, it's quite vulnerable. The water pump motor just pisses out and actually stuffed. You crack this, your oil comes out. So there's a plastic cover similar to this, but it covers this whole thing. This little piece here is annoying. So kind of just in my riding positions on the inside of my legs. That's the only thing I can think of that's irritating, but that'll be sorted when I replace that whole cover. Plastic cover that goes over the top of that, like a toughened plastic, and one for the other side of the engine as well. So yeah, that's pretty much my review. There's some other bits they didn't have in stock in the package. There's a stainless or an alloy chain protector guard and a centre stand, which they didn't have in stock, which I think you really need a centre stand, especially if you're on the back blocks. You need to change a tyre or something. That's a fucking nightmare trying to do it without having a centre stand. So all in all, wider pegs, put some big pegs on there, because these rubbers just pop out apparently, and gives you lots of grip when you're on the dirt, because a lot of people are steering, where I am anyway, steering the bike a lot with the pegs and your weight. Not that I've done a great deal of off-road riding lately. I did a lot when I was a bit younger. I'm a lot younger. So I'm looking forward to having a go at that. And I've also got a little thing that I can mount my phone. Just locks, my phone just clicks onto here and locks it, so if I'm going somewhere I can put in my GPS and bucket just follow it, Simple, I don't have to worry about looking for road signs and dicking around. Fuel consumption is pretty good. I went to from Coromandel to Taronga and back, and it was cost me about $20, $22 I think it was all up. So that's pretty close to 600 k's. Isn't that right? You wouldn't be far off it. And I wasn't hanging around. I was having fun with it. Obviously, I'm still running it in, so I'm not thrashing it or even close to thrashing it. In fact, I don't think I'll ever be able to thrash it. It's just got so much poke, more poke than I'm prepared to throw at it anyway at this stage. So yeah, that's my review of the Yamaha Tenere. I quite like the colour. I am surprised they didn't put tubeless tyres on these bikes, but it all adds to the expense, I suppose. There's a change looking a little bit. Oh, it's not too bad. Yeah, so goes in for its first service in another 400 or 500 k's. 1,000 kilometre service. We'll adjust everything. They're going to add some other little bits and pieces like the centre stand I talked about, the chain guard. I've got some little high density LED spot lamps that are mounted here just to give me a bit more presence on the road. Although it does have an LEDs in here, and the lights are permanently on. There's no switching the lights off for this. There's no stealth for this bad boy. The indicators are very bright. Other little things like the foot pegs. You hit a log or anything, everything folds, so you're not breaking stuff off, which is good. It's the same with the gear shifter. Nobody had that stuff. Just wasn't around when I was a youngster. It was just break it, bend it, bash it back into place, and that's how we rode. But anyway, that's my review on this bike so far. More to come.